Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. So for 3.5 years, I had the distinct pleasure of hearing Elli play almost every day in the classroom when she wasn't traveling around the world competing and performing. The Tenafly administration was very generous with the attendance policy with Elli because she always had something better to do. But I'm thrilled to have her back. I haven't heard her play live since she left high school, I think, and so it's been YouTube, and I'm really excited to hear her play again tonight and to hear what kind of insights she has for our student performers. So without further ado, Elli Choi, come on up.
Well, we're already off to a great start.
Geoffrey, come on.
Oh, I just wanted to say,
Yes,
wait, you can hear me? Oh, okay, I don't need.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you again, really, for having me. And I was like reacting. I was going to react directly to what Mr. Millar had just said, and then I tripped, and then I just lost my train of thought. But I think I was going to say that this is also embarrassing for me because I feel like it was just yesterday that I was just at the high school, you know, going to school like a normal student. So this is all very embarrassing. This is all very new. But I mean, I love working with people. I don't want to say young people because I'm also a young person, but people younger than me. I guess 1/2 generation below me. So I'd love to work, and I'm really excited for all of the great music that we're about to hear. Thank you. everybody. Let's clap for, sorry, what's it, William? Daniel, William? Geoffrey. Hi, Geoffrey. How are you? I'm good. Let's all say hi, Geoffrey.
Hi, Geoffrey.
Congratulations. That was really amazing. And you are only like 12? Wow. Wow. Everyone collective, wow. How long have you been playing this piece?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, can you give me an estimate? Maybe like a couple months?
I don't know.
Around 4 months? Okay, great. Really, it was so impressive, and you're such a great technician, I would say already. Like, everything is so stable. You know, I love the way you produce sound. I like, you know, your left hand positioning, right hand. I love your posture. I think those are all very fundamental things that we all have to continuously think about, because if we don't, it kind of regresses, and you know. So I love, you already have a kind of poise, and I really love that about your playing. I was sitting here for a little bit, and then I went over there because I was feeling as if the sound, because we produce sound in our, you know where the sound comes, do you know where the sound, from the F holes and the resonance and the overtones, right? So a lot of that, if we play in this direction, all of that sound goes that way. So I felt like I was missing a lot of sound here, so I went out to see like how well you were projecting and how I could feel it. And yeah, I kind of got it, because here it was like I was in the back of you. But I think that when you're performing, because right now you're kind of performing, right? I know it's a master class, but you're performing in some sense. And I think when you're performing, we have to think about all sides of our body. And I'm gonna use that as an abstract term, but let's actually explore what that means. Even if I'm sitting right behind you, or even if I'm sitting, you know, where the piano is, or here, because sometimes we'll find ourselves in those situations, like when we're playing solo with orchestra, you know, there's musicians behind us who are surrounding us, as well as the audience in front of us. I think when we're performing, we have to kind of communicate what we want to say, not only by sound, but by body language, right? By the kind of, I guess, even just the air of how we carry ourselves, or the air of how you approach the first note, how you're going to approach the slower sections, how you approach different things. So let's kind of work on that, right? Because I have nothing to say about, you know, technical things like intonation or whatever. And I think that once you get an idea of what you want to sound like, I think everything else kind of falls into place. So I'm going to ask you what you feel. I would say let's start with that question. Let's look internally. Let's look internally before we figure out how we can make that come across. So, how do you feel when you hear even just the piano introduction, and then you have to start? What's the vibe?
I don't know.
Is this going to be your answer to every question? You have to say something differently. Yeah. It's okay. It doesn't have to be. You feel nervous? Okay, but because you're performing, or just from the piece? Like if you were just going to play in a little practice room, like in your own room, and you were just practicing, how do you feel when you're playing?
Nervous.
Still nervous? It's okay. I'm always nervous. We all always, you know, we live in a constant state of nerves, positive and negative nervousness. Can you give me one other word, adjective? Okay, let's just say happy or sad. Okay, can you please play just the couple measures? So. I'm just gonna decide for us. How about that? Okay. This is like when my friend asks me what I want to eat, and I'm like, exactly like you, completely cannot decide. So I'll decide for you. First of all, it is a more upbeat tempo, right? It's in C major. The whole thing's in C, like the first movement's in C major. So already we can get some kind of details from that, right? About how we want, what kind of vibe we want to give off. Let's say you're super happy. Okay, let's say what is one thing that actually interests you? Like, is there something on your wish list? When is your birthday?
March 19th.
Okay, it's coming up. What do you want for your birthday?
I do not know.
He has no idea. Okay, let's say, are his parents here? What does he want for his birthday?
He likes Moses to be playing video games.
Okay, video games.
YouTube.
But then he says no. Who do I believe? Okay, so let's say your parents got you, let's say a PS5, okay, on March 19th. Does that make you happy? I hope that. Let's say that makes you happy, okay? And then the piano starts, and then you have to play. Can you play in this state of mind? Can you play with this kind of excitement? Okay, nervousness. Let's say nervousness. Positive nervousness, excitement. And can I see that in your body language, in your face? Maybe. Okay, can we try it? Can we try it? Amazing. Wait, were you thinking to play? Yeah? Okay, well, I heard energy already. I think a lot of, well, actually sound is kind of a type of, it's a wave, right? And it's a type of energy. There's some energy in there. So already you feeling that energy internally, I think, made you play differently, made you breathe differently, and made the sound different too. So I would like you to keep going in that direction. There are some things that we can do. Maybe just in this beginning, I wish I could spend more time. I know we don't have. Okay, but I just want to give you some an example that you can apply to other parts of the piece. So we'll work on this beginning part a little more detailed, and then you can apply it to other parts. Can we go from the beginning one more time? And I want you to hear what the piano has in this beginning when you're playing, okay? Because right now you're super aware, you know exactly what you're playing. I want you to be in communication with the accompaniment too, with the pianist, because I hope you will very soon play with orchestra, and that'll be also another, experience. And it's great to hear what they have first, because it does influence how you should approach your playing. Can we try it one more time? Okay, it's okay. This a little bit louder so he can hear the da-da-da-da-da. So bum ba da 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 ba da 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 dum. Can I hear that you're aware of it and that you're talking to her? It's like cool. And then they end up playing together at the end. So little details like this, I think that will, just knowing that will peak, you'll be aware of it, and it'll just, by knowing, it'll change your playing. And that, by following this, so we start with kind of high energy, right? And then, but this gets a little higher energy. So save your energy here so that we can grow up here, okay? Does it make sense? Okay, can we try one more time? And breathe. Now together, grow. going. Yeah, great. Great. So what you're doing differently kind of right now, which different than the run-through, is the run-through, I think about this a lot because I feel like I have problems with this too. When I'm performing, I'll be looking at my, this is a very, like, I wouldn't say a niche thing. It's a very practical thing that I think we overlook a lot as performers, is actually when we're performing, where are we looking? We think about what should we think on stage, like to combat nervousness or to combat other things, but a very practical, like something that you can ground yourself with is something very practical, like where am I gonna look when I'm playing? Because while you're practicing, you're either looking at your score or are you closing your, like, there's so many questions, and I think that you have to work through all of them before you actually perform, because then you'll be a lot more comfortable that way. Right, when you were playing, I do this too, your eyes were locked in on your left hand. And I do that too. It's kind of like this default where you're just scared that you're gonna miss notes, and you're locked in, I'm either locked in here or here, and that locks your whole body and your posture and your chin and your shoulder, much of which should be flexible and much of which should be more open so that we can get great sound, like good sound that we want with depth. Here, this already locks the upper part of the body. And anyways, what I was trying to say is that this time, when I was talking to you and when you were playing, you were looking elsewhere. Did you notice that? Did you feel that? Okay, well you were looking elsewhere. You even went like this once too, which is great because we need a bit of like variety when we play, especially so in the beginning. To play this piece and so on. So we have in the beginning we have here, and then the next time we have the second time we have it in the lower voice, right? So the first time you could do even like you could look outward, be open. This is like the beginning where you're pronouncing everything, and then the next time, we already heard the melody, but it's coming in the lower voice. So why don't you do something with your body too, not only your sound, something more hushed, like, right, as opposed to, right, which is the first time. So it makes more narrative sense. I know, I'm sorry, I'm speaking so, I hope do you feel my vibe? Are you with me? Are you with me? Please let me know if anything is like confusing or if it's not clear or, okay, let's try it one more time, from the beginning. And keep this in mind, two different characters, right? Maybe look at me. Keep going. Can you look at me? Hi. Keep going. Just look at me. Okay, can we go from a couple measures? Do you know where that is? Yeah. Look at me. While you're playing, can you try to see if you can turn your head just a little bit? Yeah, great. Which will automatically bring your violin up as well, right? Okay, can we try one time? Okay, for the end, why are you diminuendoing? There's a huge crescendo to fortissimo. You know how, and you know what is actually restricting you from doing that is this locked in position that you have right now. So I wish when you're playing, obviously, yeah, this is super hard, fast notes, hard stuff. Your body automatically locks in in a certain position, plus nervousness, plus everything. So your body just, I guess you have to train your body into getting out of these kind of locked situations, because then your music suffers. You don't get to crescendo into the second theme, right? So when you start here, can you, come here. From here, I want you to open your body a little more so you have the room to, right now you're using this much bow because your body is locked, your upper body is locked, so you're staying right here, and you're limiting yourself, right? If you open just a little bit more, right, where your F holes can project, and I'm gonna give you time like around here, because I know this stuff is hard. Make sure that you get those notes. And then after here, once you grow here, can you open up a little bit? Can you do that? Okay. Can we go from da 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 dum ba da 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 the familiar, or maybe the first one. 6. Okay. Here. Bum ba da 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 dum ba da da da. Okay. Okay, now use more bow. Let's go. Da 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 da. Better. You can use even more bow, and be confident. Time. Okay. Oh, I wish I could keep going. I hope that was helpful. Thank you. Bye. You want to move your stand? He's like, I don't need it, but I do, but I don't. Thank you. Wow. Were you nervous?
Yeah.
Why? Why? No one here is going to bite you. I won't bite you. I know, of course. It's an interesting thing. Like when you're in your practice room, just practicing, no nerves at all, and then there's like one person or two people that you that are listening to you, and then suddenly you can't do anything. No, this is a common feeling. And how do you think you played? Like,
It's good.
good. Like Are you satisfied? Not satisfied? Satisfied? Okay, so it's generally positive. Okay, great. That's good. I think. Why are you playing this piece? I know it's like kind of a sober question, but like. You're teacher. Do you have to play it for something? I feel like these years, like middle school, high school, it's like when we play something, it's for an audition or for something. So I'm just asking.
Not in particular. I'm still like kind of prepping it for pre-college.
Okay. So maybe an audition is in your future, maybe. Okay, or some. Okay. Some recording, maybe. Right. Okay. So. Did you want to play this piece?
I don't really have that much of an opinion.
Oh, no opinion? Oh, okay. It's okay. So sometimes people make decisions for us, and sometimes that's just, in that time of your life, that's just how it goes, and we have to deal. So let's deal, right? Because we don't want to just waste our time, right? We're not here just to learn notes and slave away. So let's have fun, right? And let's see where we can find the fun. And I also want you to use this piece and just playing the violin as a mode of expression. Like, it doesn't matter if you're going to pursue it as a career, as a professional career in the future. That shouldn't limit you from, a deep experience right now, right? Just because you don't know if you're going to pursue it, that shouldn't be like, Okay, you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So let's have fun. Okay. And I love your playing. Also, same thing. Why is everyone so in tune? Like, I don't know. I don't understand. No, nothing to say. I guess physically, there is a sense in which you have such a strong sense of pulse that sometimes it disturbs, I guess, maybe the natural line or contour of the piece, right? No, but it's great. It's like some people don't have that. It's hard. It's better to start with it and then try to, blur the lines a little. So let's start from the beginning one more time. Let's work on it a little bit. Okay, amazing. So I hear, to me, I'm trying to understand why you're doing the things you're doing. So to me, you want this super objective, like the first part to sound like objective, and then the next part it's a little softer or a little more gentle, right? Is that what you're, okay. I think you could even give a little bit more love and bow to the top note. It sounds like you're shying away from it. I know it's hard, but try to go for it instead of shying away. Okay, now, okay, great. The thing about, I like your idea. Let's focus on the execution, okay? So I only got your idea when I was really paying attention. I want everyone to know exactly the tone and the character just by sitting in the audience, right? Not super close to you. So something you can do to do that is the beginning, a sharp breath, maybe I've been working a lot recently for myself on physical stuff, so I'm going to be talking about a lot of physical stuff, but I think it really does impact. So maybe even just from the lower body, feet, right? A little bit, yeah? So can you breathe, right? Because that's a different breath than, right? So before you make the sound, I want you to work on the stuff before, like the preparation before. So can we try from the beginning one more time? Now different breath. Okay, right now everything is super, you're thinking in terms I love it, that was great. I don't know if anyone heard at least some difference, right? And then, okay, from here I think everything is super 1, 2, like it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Let's think a little bit in terms of longer phrases or gestures. So, da da dum bum 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 ba dum is 1. Da da dum bum 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 ba da 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 da, like si la so fa. One more. Okay, so can we feel a sense of fall because we come down and then we go back up again, right? Can we from here? Good. Can we feel? Because let's feel. Right? I feel like we shouldn't have the same cadence twice the same way, right? Because actually nothing is the same. Or so why are we playing it the same way, right? Completely different notes, completely different harmonies. So I think that should reflect in your playing, right? Great. After this, do you see this too? I need a new air. You're going back up. Right? Okay, let's go. Can we go from here one more time just to tie everything? I'll play with you too. Yes. Now. Try not to use less bow as you're going up. I think that's a common thing, right? Something you can practice by doing is actually feeling, not by feeling just up and down, but feeling that there's actually layers and depth, like that the string is not just one horizontal plane, but that there's actually give and depth to it too. And I think that'll actually kind of stop you from going autopilot and just tensing up and doing small strokes when you're getting higher, when you get more nervous and afraid, actually. So when you're practicing, I want you to feel that there's depth that comes from wrist, hand, just elbow, all of these layers. And then it'll just naturally, you'll feel the, wait, can you put your bow on your, I want to see if you can, yeah, can you put your bow on your, yeah. Oh, first of all, okay. Okay, now, of course, that's why you couldn't be, because you have no space. Okay, can I try one more time? From slowly, da 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 da. Wait, stop. Keep your bow on the string. Wait, but just stop in place. Can you fight can you go upwards and I fight? Yeah, this kind of, okay, good. So can you feel, that's the muscle that I think is used when we do that. So can you also feel flexible here? One more time. From there. But do you feel that there's layers? And then grow. Yeah, that's already like 200% more sound. Right? I mean, it's great. It's slow, but yeah, okay. In the practice room is where we develop this in tempo, right? So that's what you should be practicing, which is also a big question, I think. How do we practice? I think most of it ends up being like run-throughs, just checking the mistakes. and then working on the mistakes, but like maybe 10% of the time. I think that we have to kind of just eradicate this notion of getting rid of mistakes. Like practicing is just getting rid of mistakes, which is true. That's what it ends up being. But if that is the goal, I think we actually end up just counting our own mistakes. So while you're practicing, can there be also, this is going to be the like closing comment. When you're practicing, can you imagine what you want your sound to sound like? And this can come from inspiration from anything. It can come from recordings. It can come from just regular daily life. But I want this to be inspiring to you. Like I want you playing this music to be inspiring, even though you've played it maybe 2,000, 20,000 times. I mean, when we practice, we play things like over and over again, so it just becomes like default and second nature. But actually, it's like it's extraordinary that you're playing this piece right here, right now for us. You know, like I just wish. I mean, you know that. Maybe you know this. I don't know if I'm saying things you already know. But anyways, practicing. I want you to have a very clear image of what you want it to sound like. It might help to listen to Mozart's operas, other symphonies, other violin works. I know that sounds, and when teachers used to tell that to me, I used to be like, yeah, I do. What else do you want? But it's not just, now that I realize that it's actually true, like not just listening to them, but actually like being curious and inspired. I think that's a big thing. Just be inspired, have an image in your head and play it. So when you practice, I want it to be walking and slowly approaching that ideal sound and expression that you have in your head, rather than, oh, let me just practice this 50 times so I don't miss this note. I think the former process actually ends up being that you don't miss the note because you're not thinking about it. You're just thinking about how does this sound? Like, how am I speaking this music and how am I saying it? So I hope that gives you some food for thought. I don't know if this is helpful. Maybe that, you know, and it doesn't apply only to music and Mozart. But thank you so much. Thank you. Nervous? Do you feel good? Happy? Yeah. Satisfied? Good. I always ask that because it's like, what if the student actually didn't play their best and they're like, no, I can do better, then I feel like I would account for that, right? Because I don't want to say something that you already know and that you're already working on. It just didn't come out because it was just not the right moment. So great. It sounds amazing. And you look so comfortable with the instrument, which I think is always also very important. You look comfortable and it feels like you have such a great foundation that now we can build things and we can do whatever we want. Are you generally like a quiet, are you her parents? She's a quiet person?
Not at home.
Not at home, okay. Because I think you can show some of that in your playing. Because it's funny because it's really different what people see, much like when we speak, how people perceive us and how people actually take in what we say. I think what we see is your emotional spectrum. I'm not saying your emotional spectrum is this small, but when you're playing, your emotional spectrum to us, just by your Mendelssohn first movement, first half that you just played, is very small. And I don't think that's the case. Do you want it to come across like that? No, right? You want to be dynamic. You can be so much more dynamic, so much more just dramatic, right? It's a pretty dramatic piece. It's played so much. I feel like this is like the most played. No, it can't be. It has to be other things. But within a certain actually like age group, I would say, somehow this is always like, there's not someone who hasn't played Mendelssohn, so I think that really that really says something. Anyways, so it's kind of, I don't think anyone found it boring, not at all. I didn't find it boring. I loved your playing. But if someone wanted to argue and say, and like let's say in like an audition or in a competition or whatever, they could say that. And we don't want them to say that because it's actually not true. And you can do it. So why aren't you doing it? Come on, let's go. So, okay, from the beginning, let's work on. So are you ready to try new things and be more? Okay, so let's go from the beginning. Let's go from the beginning. Great, amazing. Remember how like the first two people I was like, usage of body, maybe we can do that. Let's try not using body. Let's try other things where we can change this sound or emotion or just intensity. Right now you have a pretty consistent vibrato that's like, I would say, if we're thinking in terms of pens, I like to think of vibrato, so anyways, vibrato in terms of like lead width. So we have like 0.5, 0.7, 0.9, and then we have the very thin one, 0.38. Right now your vibrato is like at a 0.7 the whole time. It's like this. Can you try just a little bit of a thinner vibrato, like as in the one cycle of vibrato is just a little bit thinner, a little bit faster, which will automatically give actually a sense of something, it'll change the sound and the energy level, which will make you sound more passionate, or if that's the right word, if whatever adjective you want to put in there. Can you try? Good. More things. Right now you're starting very awkwardly, like it's an impulse. And I think that there's follow through of the impulse and the preparation, right? So I think it'd be a little bit more natural. But now that was like a, right? We can, there's a way to kind of glide into it. And I think maybe now is when you can use some of the physical stuff, which is even lowering just a bit will give you a softer contact point, right? That will bring you to, okay? We'll bring you there, okay. Oh, great, amazing, that was a great start. Now, once you start like that, grow. Right? Okay. Now sing. Good. Ooh. More. Good. Good. Okay. Do you feel the same way? Okay. Do you feel the same way about as that? No, right? But you're playing it the exact same way. So what can we do? You can dip a little bit, you know, right? Crescendo, it helps to dip a little bit. So from here, yeah, wait. Sorry. Okay. From here, maybe less. Now, okay. Now this would help. Let's do organize bow a little bit. So starting here would be. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but starting here would be more logical, right? To save more bow for here, because right now you only had this much bow. So obviously the maximum sound you can make with is this. But if you went a little bit here and felt each note with not just bow placement, but sounding point, weight, all of these things should be going through your head. Yeah? Okay, want to try? Yeah, it might even help to give, I think it helps always to give just a little bit more of a, not martelé, but just a little bit more front edge, so it soars above and we really see that it's like the peak of this phrase. Okay. Yeah, try stopping the bow with your wrist and then catching it. Yeah, good. More of that though. You can do more. Yeah, okay, can we go from, like think about bow. Better. Can you feel like you're being a little more sassy with this part? You can feel like you're whipping your hair. Yeah, I don't want to say your hair, but just even that break gives the impression of there's like momentum and fall, and it just makes it a little bit more multi-dimensional. Right now it's very unilateral, I think, your playing and your sound. Can we try it one more time? Can you, right now you're lifting like 1 centimeter. Can you move because if you lift a little more, it'll give you the momentum to start the next with also a lot of energy, right? Can you lift a little bit? Let's do it slowly. So lift a little bit more. Do you see how? Okay, now look at yourself. Don't look at me. Look at how much you're lifting. Can we go from? You can do like 1 more centimeter. Yeah. Okay, now feel like you're kicking the, there's no accent there. This is just an exercise. Feel like you're kicking, there's an accent on the last note. Yeah, and don't be so gentle and polite with the start of each one. It's okay if you stumble into it. I think that's part of the, yeah, okay. Okay, now, but don't miss the last note. That's actually the most important. Okay? Okay, now I feel like there's a lot of accent, like as in bow speed accent. Can we have just more energy? Yeah. Okay, I think that comes from rhythm. Can we keep it still even? Still the same rhythm. but then you lost your kick. So can we have both? I know it's hard. Better. I think you can do more of that. Okay, let's go on for now just because of time. Yeah, keep going. Same. Lift a lip. Wait, is there a crescendo there? Do you think you did the crescendo?
No.
Why? Why didn't you do it? Okay, let's do it. You know it. Why aren't you doing it? Let's go. From there. Was there a crescendo, everybody? So, do you feel like you did a crescendo this time? No. Do you understand why I'm not really comprehending what you're saying to me? So you know that there's a crescendo. Do you want to do the crescendo?
Yes.
Okay, then why aren't you doing it? Tell me.
Oh, I started too loud.
Okay. You could also, no, I don't think, no. You're saying that you could have started, no, I think you could have gone louder. This is not the issue. This is the issue, right? Okay, so how can we do that? So many things. More bow, just more bow in general. More weights from your elbow, right? There's so many things. Can we do it slowly? Let's really try to. Can we actually? Can you try? Wait. How do you end? Do you start? Okay. Good. I know that there's not much, I would say, safety here. I know so the unsafetyness, the anxiousness that you feel from your left hand is also causing you to like have a light elbow, which I don't think I think you should fix that thought pattern, which is whatever happens here, your right hand hasn't betrayed you, is still listening to what you're telling it to do, right? So, I know this is unstable, but that doesn't stop my right hand from still doing what I want it to do. Can we try it? Yeah. More. Good. Now go. Keep going. Okay, so why would he do this 2 times the same chords, but the second time make it more? Why?
To make it sound different.
Sound different, but also when you say something twice, like it's like your mom says, "Oh, do the dishes," and she says it again, "Do the dish." It's like there's something more intense. There's something more, And I think that's the same. It's not like why doesn't that apply? Why doesn't that kind of logic apply to music? It's the same thing. And he wrote, like Mendelssohn wrote it probably with that kind of. And we can only assume, right? Like what he was thinking. But I mean, come on. It's kind of the logical explanation. So when you do it from front, great. When you arrive, I want you to be like. I want you to be. Sorry, that was upset. I was looking here, and I want you to be more insistent, right? Okay, can we try? Good. I think that energy also comes from the third. I think it comes from this that leads into the next, and it's like a tornado. I think it should be like a tornado, so that when you get up until and it makes sense that the orchestra comes out strong there. Because if you're ending, and then the orchestra has to follow through with what energy? You're not giving them the energy. I need you to give them the energy so that whoever is playing with you can receive it. Can we try one more time? Better. Can you think in terms of, let's do it together. Can you feel the last note connecting to the next first? time. More bow. Okay, great. Can we go on for just a little bit? Yeah, just I want to hit the. We don't have time. Okay, let's hit the. From here, can we go from there? Keep going. Okay, same thing. Here, it's kind of an arrival. It was almost the same sound as. So I think something you can practice right now, because I think that's more helpful for you, is the different sounds that you can make. I don't know if anyone has told you this before. Probably, yeah, maybe. I need you to, in your practice room, I need you to come up with as many different sounds that you can possibly make. They don't all have to be beautiful or, right, I would say. Like, just see what the actual spectrum of sound you can physically make with your violin is, and then choose the ones that you like. Oh, so then, like, you have it in your arsenal and you have it in your palette. Like, this color I can use for this moment in Mendelssohn, this color I can use. So right now I need you to find a color. I want you to find it in your practice room. You don't have to do it now, and it's not an easy process, not like you can figure it out today. That gives us the sense of because I think that it's such an arrival point and we don't feel that yet. Can you play from there? Good. This is, keep going. But this is a completely different vibe, right? But you're doing it the same pace and the same pulse. It's different. It's. Can you play just the chords for me? Just the 4 chords? Okay. And then keep going. This is like one of the most magical moments in anything, in any violin repertoire, in my opinion. And I want you to relish in it, and I want you to enjoy it. So let's go from here. Let's go. Ready? Change your color, and change your sounding point too. Even like explore, right? Keep going. Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. You're great, and I think right now you shine in these moments. I want you to be able to do the other ones too, so that these make more sense too, right? If you have the same sound as this in the places when we need a little bit more meat and potatoes, then we don't, as an audience member, we can't really tell the difference. And I want you to be a little bit more clear. So if you can work on that, I think you'll be great. Amazing. Good job. God, I am running out of steam. Do you have water? No, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Hi. Oh, sorry. I guess I was, is that? Oh yeah, I was expecting you to finish the first movement because I wanted everyone to hear it. No, you don't want to play it? Why? You know, keep going. No, I'm making you play it. Come on, let's play.
Yeah, I'll try.
Oh, it's okay.
I don't know it.
Oh no worries. It sounds great.
I'll fill in where I can. Okay.
Oh, you didn't. Do you want the music? No, you don't want to play? No? Okay. It's okay. I was doing this because I wanted to actually put you in an uncomfortable position. Because actually that's when you...
I was already.
No, but I remember my uncomfortable positions were when I really clocked that I had to, do something or change something or, it was like my biggest growth was when I was really uncomfortable. So I was trying to help you, but it's okay. I'm not going to force you to do anything. So, how do you feel? No? Bad? No? Okay.
It was okay.
Okay. I mean, I think also a big thing, I feel like we're like hitting a lot of just general ideas here about violin playing, about, being a musician, being an artist, whatever. Not whatever, yeah. What a big thing is actually whatever you think is you made a mistake or sounds bad, it's like only 20%, or not even 20% that the audience notices, really. Actually, they don't notice a lot of things. Wait, sorry, that sounded really bad. No, in terms of mistakes, in terms of little tiny mistakes, because we are poring over them for hours in the practice room, of course they sound like the biggest failures to us. But in the audience, they really don't know, unless you make it like that. Unless you actually am like, look, I made a mistake, and you draw attention to it, then of course everyone knows. But other than that, if it's part of the music, if it's just a note, whatever, in a series of notes, we don't know. Not even like actual other violinists, honestly, most of the time. So don't worry about that. And I don't want that to be, do you have trouble maybe a little bit of keeping, like being centered when you're performing? Or like, what are you thinking when you're performing?
Nothing.
See, no, it's okay. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's not ideal, right? But I'm just trying to say you're not the only one. Everyone actually, when you actually really ask people, what do you think? I was like, who just performed, they're like, I couldn't tell you. And it's not like everyone is like that, really. But you know what? We're trying to, if we're not happy with the way we're playing, then maybe we should try something different. And that's one thing I think you can try differently, which is I saw my biggest growth spurt in terms of performance output when I started thinking differently about how I was performing and what I was thinking while I was performing. I started actually like rehearsing and really putting in little anchors of thought process, really, like of thought of what I'm actually going to be thinking about in this portion. Not just playing exactly how I practiced it, which I did too, but actually just a reaffirmation on stage, just a little, oh look, I'm actually fine, I'm okay. Like I know what I want to do here. You know what I mean? So I hope that's there's some, obviously we can work on that. Most of the time it's for like a huge shift. You know, when all you're thinking is I'm gonna screw this up. I'm not gonna, and then you actually do screw it up because you're actually thinking, yeah, I'm gonna miss it. What if I miss it? Misses it. You know? So like that. In those, I'm talking in terms of those instances and also larger instances. But like for that, like if there's if there's like a passage or something, train your brain into thinking something else in those like preparing measures before instead of the shift. Or like, you know what I mean? Like just, okay, I'm just gonna leave you with that. That's like a separate thing. Let's work on the actual piece. Okay, this is I don't know if maybe it's a little bit less well known to more folks. I don't want to say it's not well known. It is a very famous piece. It's part of the standard violin classical repertoire. But, you know, a less percentage of people know it outside of, I guess, just our immediate, you know, classical music circle. And there is, he wrote this concerto was written in the 20th century. So there's also this kind of, I think there's this kind of scent and color of violin concertos from the 20th century. It's just a little bit more cinematic. The orchestration is a little bit more, you know, cinematic, and there's obviously a little bit more, you know, less tonal stuff and more, you know, acrobat, whatever, because we were all like pushing the limits of, I guess, you know, composition rules, whatever. Anyways, also a big thing is that in the beginning, I think she's doing us it a lot of justice, but if you hear the orchestra part of this concerto, it's a lot of cascading, like, harp stuff, just a lot of arpeggiation, and it sounds like actually the soundtrack for like a 1930s movie almost, right? Didn't you hear some elements of some cinematic elements, like it could actually be the back track or the soundtrack for a movie, like a black and white movie, and actually that there's like a historical reason for that, because a lot of them, like these composers of the time, like the European, would go to Hollywood and write for them. So like when you watch a black and white movie and it's like the credits roll out and it's super, and it sounds like almost like it's movie music, but it sounds classical. It's because they were written by actually like classically trained composers. Anyways, but there is an element of this too, right here, because that was just the trend at the time, and that's what the sound was, I would say, in this world. So I think you can tap into that. It's a different type of sound, I would say, I think, too, than if you were playing Mozart or anything. From the beginning, I think it can be so much grander, right? I love your playing in the sense that I can hear exactly what you want to do, and it's very expressive, and I love it. Let's push the limits of expression and the boundaries a little bit more. So can we go from the beginning? Okay, amazing. I know exactly what you want to do. I think that you can tap into, there's more that you can do, and not just, I'm not saying, oh, give me more, like, let's change some things, right? I think I can hear what you want, yeah? Reach a little further down for the first note. Like, can you reach a little bit more into the depth? Can you find a color, a rich, what do you think this color of this, your sound of this opening should be?
What said piano?
Yeah, but there's a difference between soloistic piano and chamber piano and other piano, right? Okay, of course it says piano. Okay, this sounds like a conversation I just had today with my teacher. Yeah, it's piano, but if that's the first note you're playing in a huge hall with a huge orchestra and you're starting, no one's gonna hear you, right? And I want you to put yourself in that position so we can see what it, like I guess the ultimate version of, like, the best version of how you can play this piece. So let's think in terms of that, just for now, at least as an experience. Can we try? Great. Right now I hear the depth here, and then I lose it, and then I want it to be one line from A, D, A, right? To make the sweeping motion, and I want every note to connect with each other. Right now it's a little like, it's like a little bit uneven, yeah. Great. I think there's something we can do more with your vibrato. Right now, it's every note sounds like it has a separate vibrato, right? I don't know if we can talk more in terms of technical things too. I think it didn't really hit that about vibrato and vibrato between notes. Right now, it feels like every note has its own different, but actually, it's one continuous. Like, I think we should have different types of vibrato in our arsenal, and right now, what you have is great. It's single finger vibrato. Something like this kind of lyrical passage, it might be more useful or helpful or more effective to have a bit of a more continuous wrist vibrato. So wrist vibrato is like, it doesn't matter which finger you're vibrating, it's kind of like one continuous unit, and I think that helps with measuring the magnitude. Because we also want a sense of, for this, the top note, to have a little bit more intensity, right? So then, and the lower strings, obviously, because they're thicker, they need a little bit more meat and like slower vibration, so slower to speak, right? So going that transition from to a more brighter should all come from one gesture. Does it make sense? Okay. Good. Okay, great. So the first, I'm sorry I'm being so detailed, but so picky, but that's the first round, right? And then the next time is up here, right? So it's first of all higher, a little bit more brighter, let's say. So great. I think your left hand is there. Oh, sorry. Retune. Okay. Great, whatever. For now. Right now, are you doing it down bow? Okay, so I like your vibrato. It's very bright, but you're stopping your own expression and your breath with your bow. Right now, there's a natural. Can you see if you can feel like it's never going to end? So that your left hand is actually independent from your right hand, yeah? Yeah, better already. But it feels uncomfortable, right? Okay, can we try it from maybe a little bit from there? Good. Keep the sound here. But I know you're doing this, right? But right now it's like half is spent with dead sound and lots of bow. Can you make that at the end? Nice. Yeah, actually, that connects that actually is the connection for us to be like, oh wow, that's like a huge. Does that make sense? I hope everyone. Okay, can we do it one more time? Yeah, just keep a little bit more vibration. No, it's good. No, be confident. No, don't lose. You're making great progress already. It's actually, yeah, because do you ever have this experience where you go to a concert and it's like, I would say students, because we are students, right? We are still students. It's a student playing. I'm going to say student just for, you'll see why I say student. It's students playing and it's like, it's great. You can't really find fault with it, but you're not particularly wowed or touched by it. And you can't seem to find out what that is, right? What is it? Like, we're all trying to find it. Like, what separates us from, like, an established soloist already who's, you know, anyone you can name, whoever. I think, and I've been trying to find an answer. It's not like I'm going to give you all the answers. Yeah, like, like I know them. No, but I'm trying to get there, and I think we're all on this path, I guess, as musicians and as violinists to get there. And it's just things that we pick up. There are some things that I picked up that have led me more closer to where I want to be. And it's in these small stuff like this, like details. So details, I think there's a certain type of detail that I want you to focus on, which is the detail that you miss when you practice, because it's habit already. The way you played it is already inhabited. Is already a habit. So it's hard for you to change it because it's become a habit. I don't want anything to become a habit. I think in a practice room, there should be time where you are solidifying things and making sure that this will happen on stage because it's like a technical intonation or whatever. And there are things that you have to constantly, there should be time in your practice where you're constantly questioning why you're doing this. Why did he write this? Why did Korngold, I almost said, okay. Why did Korngold write it like this? Why did he do this? You have to be constantly questioning, and you have to put yourself in his shoes. And when you do that, I think you won't take this for granted. Because right now you took that slide for granted. You did it the same every time. If I asked you to play it a week from now, you play it the same way. But it's not like that, right? Obviously, we should plan how we want to say it, but it doesn't come out the same way every time. And I want you to not take that for granted in your practice time. To be, actually, why am I doing that shift? Why am I, oh, because I want it to be more, what, expressive? Then you should do the necessary things to make that as expressive as possible. Like, I feel like you're just doing it because it's like, oh, I'm going to do the slide because it's expressive. But I didn't feel the expression, and that's what you should be focused on. I think that's like a direction that you can take when you're practicing. Because, I'm saying this now only because she's already learned the piece, she's familiar with it, she knows all the notes, and it's like, what some people would say, what is it there more to say? But I think there's more to say because it's like, you can really become the piece, and you're on your way there, and we're trying to figure out how to get there, right? And there's obviously a lot of ways, but I think this is one way. Yeah, because we want to be like, why are you playing, what? I want to hear your version of Korngold, right? Because we can just hear a recording on YouTube and be satisfied if we just wanted to hear Korngold. But we want to hear you play Korngold, and I want you to bring your own color to it. I think that's... Thank you.
So thank you, Sam. We started a little late, and it's 9 o'clock, but we have time maybe for 2 questions, maybe 3 questions, and I have one.
Oh.
Would you tell us about your violin?
Oh, yes. This is a Viom, JB Viom. Right, I'm just making sure. Yeah.
You forgot.
I was generously, this is on loan, of course. This is a crazy story, though. Do we have time for it? So basically, the owner of this violin bought this for like $200. And I'm telling you, they're like not $200. They're like more zeros than that. Like actually a lot more. And it was by chance he had come across this instrument. It was in someone's house, personal house. Like their grandfather was a luthier, had a bunch of violins. Came in, I guess like visiting this house, asked, can I take a couple of things? He was like, yeah, I'll take them. So we bought like 5 violins for like $1,000. And one of them was this. Why can't that happen to me? But he put a lot of money into restoration. So great thing about this violin is that this came in my possession maybe in July of last year, so I've only been with it for like 8 months. Great thing is that it hasn't been played. It hadn't been played for a long time, 60 years, 70 years. So when I started with it, it was like I was growing with the instrument, and every day I feel like it's following, my needs and things that I want to do, and like we're on a journey together. So it's great. Yeah.
Cool.
The violin has a distinctly different sound.
Distinctly.
The
Uh-huh.
has a distinctly different sound
Different, okay.
than the ones the youngsters will play.
Mm.
Why is that?
It might be because of who made it, right? There's a huge thing. I don't know the years, I guess, of everyone's violin. I mean, this is a common question. Yeah, why do something? It's
Just a variation. It's very different. It's a very, very different sound. And I didn't know if it had to do with the chamber and size or the strings.
probably everything you're talking about. Everything. It's size, chamber, wood, like the type of wood they made it with, who played it before, what kind of conditions it lived in. Was it humid? Was it dry? Like, who took care of it? How did they take care of it? How am I taking care of it? I feel like all of that is like, so the thing about instrument is like, it's really, like, there's just so many factors that it's almost like it's out of your control, right? So I guess for me, it's like, am I working with the instrument to provide the sound that I want? I think that's what I'm mostly focused on. But yeah, I mean, the difference, would come from the age, I guess, and the maker. He's a very famous violin maker. I'm sorry, that's probably a very dissatisfying answer.
Well,
but
there's no good answer to that question. I mean,
Yeah.
if you knew how to do it, then
I guess
then everybody would have a Stradivarius.
everyone would make great violins. So yeah, that's true. Yeah,
It's complicated.
exactly. Yeah.
Does anyone else have a question for Elli?
Hi, thank you very much for the masterclass.
No, thank you for coming.
And we're also from Tenfly, so since you're Tenfly High, he's not there yet, he's just middle school. But we're just curious how, when you were high school students here, at that time, how do you handle your academic and the music and everything?
That's
We're really
such a
curious.
good question. Of course, everyone is, always curious about that. And you know what? Like, okay, let me just tell you. Also, if you ask me this in a different era of my life, I feel like I'm in a different era, like every week. If you asked me this last week, I would have a completely different answer. But now, I feel like even now, I think back at those years and was like, how did I do that? I'm surprised. I'm like, how did I wake up at 6:30 to go to 7? Actually, no, that's really not true. I would probably wake up like 5 minutes before I had to leave. But like, how did I wake up? But I would have to leave like really early, right? So like, how did I wake up so early, have a full day at school, come home, do homework, practice, do all these like extra curriculars, and sleep like maybe 5, 6 hours, and then do it all over again? How did I do that? I have no idea. But I think that, okay, but that's not a good answer for you, sorry. So in terms of music, I'm not going to talk about academic stuff because I think we all have every student has their own way of doing this. For music, especially in those years, I guess I concocted like such a very time effective and academic friendly practice formula, I would say, which is kind of just like efficiency is key. And that's not great in the long run, I would say. That's not what we want to practice like all the time. I think because now I've decided to become a musician and a violinist and an artist, now I like the longer periods of practice time where I'm more creative when I get to decide things and stuff. But during high school, I think it was just like formula, efficiency, this is what I'm doing in these 2 hours that I have, because I would only have maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours of practice every day, and I honestly didn't do more than that either. Not just because of discipline, because lack of discipline too. So I would, and also I'm a very, very big, victim. I can't keep going. I know everyone has to go home and whatever, but I'm a victim of cramming, of course, procrastinating and doing things in the last minute. So that's why I was almost forcibly put in this position where I had to get things done in small amounts of time. So I think that practice, there's one effective method that I will just give, because this is like, I know you want to hear like, yeah, so tell me, what do I have to do? One thing that you can do, and I think this comes from, if you want to talk about like why or like more ideological things, yeah, sure, I could talk about that too, but something about recall, I think I approached practice in those years as like a scientific thing rather than like a creative thing. So it would be like, it'd be like I would approach it in the same way as flashcards. So if there's like, let's say there's 3 spots in your concerto that you don't like or you want to work on, or you want to make sure you don't miss a note or you don't mess it up in the practice room. Work on each part for 5 minutes, like for 5 minutes, set a timer, 5 minutes, only work on, so A, part B, C, then do it again. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, rather than doing like 15 minutes of A, 15 minutes of B, 15 minutes of C. Can you, like, if you just, it's like maximizing your time, even though it's the same amount of time, because it's just the way your brain has to go back to it and recall. So it's like you practice 3 days. You know what I mean? Does this make sense? Instead of practicing 1 day, like 1 cycle, it's actually 3 cycles. So somehow practicing like that would actually just boost my productivity, and it would actually eradicate those minutes of practicing when you're just practicing by default and you're actually not thinking. Giving myself only a little bit of time actually heightens my attention, especially because I have a very short attention span, like a lot of young people these days. So yeah.
I'm not sure, Elli. You told me once in high school, you're like, Mr. Millar, I never really practice.
Yeah. You can't say that. Come on, but
well, I didn't
really
believe
did
you at the
practice
time either, so.
Yeah, no, I really, yeah. I mean, that's not.
Okay, I think we need to stop there.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful for you.
Thank you so much for
So
having me.
grateful
Thank
for
you.
all our performers. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Elli. Good night.
Thank you, Mr.